Hey everyone, this is Corine Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how we do it here on Between the Lines, always with gratitude, or some people say thankfulness. That's fine. I am thankful to be here above ground. I always say it because every day is a new day with fresh graces and mercies. And not a lot of people are above ground to be able to celebrate that and to see the beautiful sunshine that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know where you're listening from, what part of the world you are, but we are thankful to have you here, whether you're listening to us live on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn with us at this moment, or you may be watching the replay. We are happy to have you. Feel free to put your comments or questions in the chat or comment section wherever you are. And of course, it's going to be featured at the bottom of the screen. So you'll get your moment of fame showing up on the screen, and we'll be able to answer your questions live. You can see next to me a very handsome man. I tell you, I only have handsome people on my show. Okay, it only goes without saying. All right, handsome men and beautiful women. All right. So his name, as you can see on the screen, is Philip Bresnahan. And you might be wondering what the CRA means. We're going to learn a little bit about that in a while. But let me tell you what we're talking about today. We're talking about the root cause of diseases. I'll repeat that, the root cause of diseases. And that might be an enigma to some of you, but we will try to figure it out today through the experience of Philip. And let me tell you a bit about Philip. Philip is a clinical research analyst. So that's what the CRA stands for, who has studied and documented clinical research on the root causes of diseases for over 15 years. Welcome, Philip, to Between the Lines.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a pleasant thank you. After all that, he just says thank you. How gracious. Okay. He just says thank you. Right. So, Philip, CRA, Clinical Research Analyst. So let's educate the audience on what is a clinical research analyst.
Okay. Well, just to start at the beginning, a little bit of my story. I'm a cancer survivor who really wanted to know how and why I got cancer. You see, 18 years ago, I was rushed to the hospital with very high blood pressure. And that same year, I got diagnosed with cancer, and I had never been sick before. So I didn't want to end up in a wheelchair from a stroke from the high blood pressure, and I didn't want to die of cancer. So I spent the next 15 years being a clinical research analyst, which means I went to the government's website, which is called PubMed. This is where they publish documented clinical research from all around the world on what the root causes of diseases. I did this because that is the original purpose of clinical research, was to find out why people got what they did. And I'm happy to announce that they have actually accomplished this for practically every disease you can think of, even cancer.
Okay.
What I learned over those 15 years will actually blow you away if I can get you to understand everything. I actually came to understand the simplicity of how we are wonderfully made and why we get the many diseases that we do. I discovered that we are born with every cell in our body has trillions of what is called free radical atoms that have a positive charge, and trillions of negatively charged atoms that are called antioxidants, okay, because they have that negative charge. The medical term, I also learned that free radical atoms can damage every molecule in our cell, which according to thousands. What's that?
So hold on, that sounds like a battery. Are you saying that we are batteries?
Similar, yes. Okay. Everything is electrical. Everything is electrical. Okay. I found out the free radicals can damage every molecule in our cells, which according to thousands of documented clinical studies, free radical overload is actually the root cause of every disease known to mankind. The medical term that they use for free radical damage is oxidative stress. You see, our body is an electrical chemical factory. Every cell in our body has to maintain a certain amount of negative voltage or energy in order to function properly and to be able to make or control the proper chemical balance that we need to stay healthy. As an example, your beta cells in your pancreas control your insulin production. When your beta cells lose some of their electrons or energy, they can no longer control your insulin production, so you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. When your beta cells lose all of their electrons or energy, it can't function at all. Now you have type 1. When they become positively charged, you now have pancreatic cancer. It's actually it's that simple. Okay.
Look. Listen, I'm going to be a human today. Just for
Okay,
today,
please.
I'm
I
going
need
to
you
be
to
a
be.
human.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah. Just for today, I'm going to be a human, and I'm going to say this to you. Everyday humans are walking around, and they're not thinking
Mhm.
about all those technical things, charges, oxidative stress, and all this.
Right.
They just go to the doctor, they don't feel too well, and they start to
Yep.
get little symptoms, and they go to the doctor, and next thing you know, boom, they're type 2 diabetes, they're
Yeah.
hypertensive, they got cancer.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
so, so, so I want you to break it down for us to help
Okay.
us, the persons who are listening to this, who may want
Okay.
to understand how their bodies work and to help prevent all of that happening, help prevent the systems from showing up, help prevent going to a doctor when it's too late. Because by the time it starts to show in your body, it's probably almost too late or late.
Okay. Uh, Believe it or not, it's actually very simple. You see, all disease starts at the cell level, not at the organ or system level. Okay. Every cell in your body has to maintain a certain amount of negative energy or voltage in order to work properly. When you drink soda, Red Bull, Gatorade, they all these energy drinks, they have a positive charge of 500 of up to 500 millivolts of free radicals in every drop. Anything with a positive charge is a free radical. Okay? These free radicals rob the electrons out of our cells and can damage every molecule in our cells, even mutating our DNA. Please remember that the medical term that we talked about for free radical damage is oxidative stress. I've seen this 1,000 times in all of the clinical studies that talk about what the root cause is. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever our weakest cells are in our body will
Mm-hmm.
actually determine what health condition we get. Because when
So
you
how do
drink
we find
soda,
that out? How do we find that out? How do we know where the weak cells are in our body?
okay,
Uh,
all right, let me explain. It's not a matter of finding out where your weak cells are. It's a matter of changing your habits so you don't have weak cells. Now, you have to
that's a good
understand
point.
there's an old
That's a,
saying that
mhm.
you inherited this or you inherited that. You don't inherit cancer.
I
You
don't
in,
believe that. I don't
exactly.
believe that.
You
And
don't
you know what
inherit.
else? You know what else I don't believe, Philip? I
What's
don't
that?
believe when people say, well, it's hereditary. I'm like, so what? So because you had it, that means to say I need to get it? I don't understand that. If
Yeah,
you had it, that's your problem. That has nothing to do with me.
exactly.
You know?
We do inherit weak cells. But
Mhm.
when we drank soda, see, that was my problem. I drank soda breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That turned my cells positive and I developed cancer. Okay. But I didn't know, but now I know. Okay. So,
Philip, you should
yes.
have met me years ago. I would have told you. But go ahead.
All right. Wherever the weakest cells are in our body will actually determine what health condition we get.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and that's what you inherit sometimes is weak cells. And we
Mm,
exasperate that by our diets. You know, the
for sure.
doctors always say, "Oh, it's what you're eating." Well, what am I eating that's caused me to have cancer? You know,
Yes.
they don't explain that. And I have a
Mm.
little meter that reads negative and positive charges of everything that you could drink. So that way I can see is it a antioxidant or is it a free radical?
Come, Philip. Share some of that. Give us some examples so persons listening can know what to drink from today and what not to drink. They need to
Okay.
go to their fridge. They need to go to their refrigerator, and start casting all those demons.
Okay,
Get them out.
I'm going to show you that in a minute, but I want to talk to you now a little bit about cancer because that's different from regular diseases. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Professor Levin, who is a professor of biology and the director of the Center of Regenerative and Development Biology at Tufts University discovered what the main difference was between cancer and healthy cells. Okay, cancer cells and healthy cells. The information was published over 10 years ago, okay, on February 1st, 2013 in Science Daily. It was titled Bioelectrical Signals Can Be Used to Detect Early Cancer. Now, this is amazing, so please pay close attention to what they discovered, okay? At Tufts University, they actually took live cells and they lowered the voltage from a negative 25, which is what they need to work, to a positive 30. The cells actually became tumorous. When they raised it back up to a negative 60, it actually destroyed the tumors naturally, not with chemo or radiation, anything like that. So Professor Levin's own words, he stated, "We have shown that the electrical events tell the cells what to do. The voltage changes are not merely a sign of cancer. They control and direct whether cancer occurs or not." He actually stated that it's like a light switch, on and off. You know, you can get rid of your cancer just like that by doing the proper things.
Right.
Just to summarize for you, he said the big difference between healthy cells and cancer cells is the electrical voltage of the cells. All healthy tissue has a negative charge. All cancerous cells have a positive electrical charge to them. Okay, big difference. Now, think about it for a minute. What if you had cancer and you discovered you personally had the ability to change the voltage in your own cells from positive to negative?
I know this. I know this.
Okay.
I know this. I know
right.
this. First to begin, let me tell you. First to begin, this is what I do. I say to myself, I am too young and fine to have cancer in my body. I'm just too young and fine. That's the first thing. Okay? Oh my God, somebody's calling me. Somebody's calling me. Why? Why? Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. Let me just turn off this phone so that nobody would call me. I thought I did. Yes. Sorry about that. Everybody could hear me saying that, right? Did you hear the call come through?
Oh, yeah. Everybody heard you.
Well, probably because we are talking about cancer. But hold on. I'm too young and fine to have cancer. So I tell my cells these things. My cells are living beings and they are fully aware of what's going on in my body. Then I do not eat meat. I consume a lot of greens, I drink a lot of water, and I do the things that bring me joy. So my cells will, of course, be joyous and will not be accommodating anything other than joy in my body.
Yes, but you have to understand 98% of the population is not going to eat healthy like you do. They like their steaks. They like all the sodas and all the different things. I mean, they go get coffee now that has caramel in it. You know, all the sugar, all this other stuff, you know, it's not good. All right. Now, let me explain something else to you because this is really important. In that same article, they went on to say that in previous research, Tufts scientists have shown how manipulating your membrane voltage, which is what you can do by what you eat and drink, okay, can influence or regulate cellular behavior, such as cell proliferation, migration, and shape in vivo, which is live cells. Now listen to this, and be used to induce the formation or regenerative repair of whole organs and appendages, unquote. Okay? So basically, by manipulating your own membrane voltage, you can repair any damage in your body. That's what they're telling you. And I have personally helped. What's that?
Do you remember? Sorry for cutting you there, but do you remember what you said at the beginning? We are wonderfully made.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Perfectly and wonderfully made. And our bodies, to me, was already designed to cure itself. We have all what we need. We just need to give it a little help along the way.
But we have to understand why we're getting what we're getting. I'll give you an example. I was in Ecuador. I was in Ecuador, and this gentleman came up to me, called himself Dr. Santini, said he's a naturopath in the States. His wife had a stroke 2 years ago, and she couldn't talk because of the brain damage from the stroke. So I loaned him a machine that makes something I'm going to tell you about, And I says, I know this will help repair the brain damage. I just don't know how long it will take. Make sure she drinks this much every day. It took 2.5 months, and she woke him up in the middle of the night carrying on this long conversation. He called me up crying like a baby. He's so happy to have his wife back. Okay.
Oh.
I have personally helped many people accomplish this, even with serious brain damage. You just have to give your body what it needs to repair itself.
What are those things that we need? Tell the people, Philip. Tell the people, because they're going to the places, consuming the sugars, the sodas, the meats. And when you tell them, eat your veggies like a child, they're like, no.
Exactly. Well, at this point, though, I need to mention that I'm not a doctor. I do not give medical advice. Doctors are trained to diagnose symptoms and to prescribe medications to treat the symptoms. So just to repeat, I do not do that. Okay. I'm a clinical research analyst who has studied all the clinical studies from all around the world to find out what the root cause was so that I could help myself regain my health and help other people do the same.
Awesome.
With that being said, I'll answer any questions and I'll show you what I was talking about. The negatively charged, it's actually water, but it has a negative charge to it.
Let's hear it. Let's see it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of those 7 places that they used to have around the world where they had water that used to help people with all these different health issues?
I have heard of it.
Okay.
I have heard.
Scientists many years ago found out what the difference was between that water and the water we drink here. There was a special element in the water called molecular hydrogen. Molecular hydrogen has a negative charge of 500 to 700 millivolts of electrons in every drop. So I ordered me a machine from Japan 17 years ago. I've been drinking this molecular hydrogen every day, and I haven't been sick in 17 years.
And that's why you look so handsome. Where's the water? Where's the water?
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, this is tap water. Okay.
We're doing a demo here, people. We're doing a demo here, people.
This is going to be, let me get rid of this other thing here real quick.
Make sure you don't electrocute yourself now.
No. Okay. I'm going to pour some molecular hydrogen in this other glass. And then this is the electrical meter that reads negative and positive electrical charges. Hold on, I got to get in front of the camera for you.
Hold on, let me make sure and expand you here so everybody could see. Just give me a second so I could focus on you.
You got it. All right. If I put this in the tap water, you'll see it go up. It has a positive charge. Okay, normally that's a lot higher than normal, but it's 500 millivolts of free radicals. Okay. Watch what happens when I put it in the molecular hydrogen water. A minus sign will come up immediately. I might have to get some fresh.
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah, it's going down. Here
yeah, minus sign came up now.
Okay.
But the numbers are going up. It's minus
700 millivolts of electrons in every drop. That is the strongest antioxidant known to mankind. And that's what destroys cancer cells naturally. It also gives everybody, every cell in your body, the what it needs to repair itself and to make healthy cells again. Because if you don't have the electrons, your body is not going to make healthy cells again.
But hold on, Philip. Remember, I'm practicing to be a human today. Okay, today
and I'm glad of that because this is very, very technical sometimes.
Right. I'm practicing to be a human today. So here's a human question.
Okay.
The human question is, I love my meat. I can't live without meat. I love my sodas. I need my coffee. You don't want to see me without my coffee. I mean, okay. So even if I drink that, but I'm still eating my meats, drinking my coffee, drinking my sodas, gouging down the sweets, the sugars. What?
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm human today.
Okay. You can't drink soda, Red Bull, Gatorade, anything like that. Otherwise, you can have your coffee. You can eat anything you want pretty much, as long as you're drinking the molecular hydrogen. because it's going to flush out all that bad stuff and keep you detox inside. It takes the stress off your liver and your kidneys.
Wait, come again. You said I could still have some or most of the things I was still having that caused my cancer or may have caused my cancer in the first place once I'm still drinking the molecular drink?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me explain.
No,
If you
I don't
have
want that.
cancer,
I don't
if
want
you,
that, Philip. I want them to
okay,
come off. I want them to come off of this stuff.
okay. If you have cancer or a serious health issue, you should stay away from all sugars until they're gone. Once they are gone, if you continue drinking the molecular hydrogen water, you can pretty much eat anything else except for those sodas I mentioned in energy drinks, because they have such a high, they're not only they're very acidic, which causes a lot of inflammation, but they have that high charge that robs the electrons out of your cells. Because I
So,
love my steak, I love everything else, and I love soda, but I don't touch it. And I don't like water, but it's pretty much all I drink, besides a margarita once in a while.
all right, I'll give you a chance with a margarita. I'll give you a chance for that. But here's the thing. I am thinking to myself, as a human today, as a human,
Okay.
that do I necessarily need to probably have that molecular hydrogen water if I just change my diet? Because the things that are causing me to be acidic, because your body's supposed to be naturally alkaline. You're supposed to do the
Correct.
things to keep it
Yep.
alkaline. Once you make it acidic, you're inviting disease. So if I
Exactly.
just change my diet and if I change my lifestyle in terms of exercise and including the things that bring me joy and staying around from toxic people and things and circumstances and workplaces and bosses and all of things, if I
Right.
just stay away from that, I should be good to go. I may not necessarily need the water. The water could be an additional thing I could probably use, but it's not that I have to necessarily switch to that alone or mainly.
If you change your diet to a whole
Mm-hmm.
food, plant-based diet, because all your fruits and vegetables, they have a negative charge. Okay. So you
Uh-huh.
are eating healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take a vitamin C pill, that does not have a negative charge. When you get it from an orange, you've got that negative charge.
What you saying?
Okay.
Stop there, Philip. Stop there, Philip. You mean to say when I bought my effervescent vitamin C, put it in the glass with the water and it fizz up and look all pretty, and I drink that and I'm like, yeah, I feel powerful with my super cape. You're saying that's a positive charge?
I'm saying when I measure it with the meter, it's a positive charge.
Blame it on the meter. Blame it on the
That's it.
meter.
Okay. You can drink 2 swallows of the molecular hydrogen water and you'll actually feel the difference immediately. Let me explain why. Your brain is supposed to be 85% water. Tap water and bottled water has so much garbage in it that the molecules cluster together anywhere from 15 to 100 molecules. So it doesn't penetrate your blood-brain barrier. Your body only absorbs about 10% of it. Have you ever took a shot of tequila or whiskey straight down?
No, please. No,
Okay.
please.
If you did, you would know you feel it right away. But it's dehydrating your brain. So you have trouble with balance and strength. Molecular hydrogen water is also 5 to 7 molecules per cluster. So it's really small. So not only does it penetrate your blood-brain barrier, but it penetrates every cell in your body. So when you drink 2 swallows, I do a dehydration test on you and you feel it right away.
Listen to me,
Now,
Philip. I want to
yes.
practice again to be a human. I want to practice. Here's a human question.
Okay.
What did those people back in the caveman days, prehistoric biblical times, that didn't have all that sort of electrical meter thing and the fancy name oxidative stress and all those different things? How did they survive? And they lived beyond 100, 200, 600 years and
Okay.
looking fine.
Because you have to remember, like even in the Himalaya mountains where they live over 100 years age, they found out that the water there had a negative charge. That's
So
how they
move to the
learned about
Himalayas.
this.
That's what
What's
you're
that?
saying. Move to the Himalayas. That's what you're saying.
No, all I'm saying is there were many places many years ago, but most of the water's been contaminated around the world, so it's hard to get it naturally now.
You
So
just burst
gentlemen,
my bubble there. You
a
just burst my
gentleman in
bubble there.
Japan, yeah, but a gentleman in Japan developed a device that hooks up to your kitchen sink that turns your water into molecular hydrogen water. And it's a medical device in Japan. It's in just about all the hospitals there, because in Japan, they practice preventive medicine. They don't treat symptoms like they do here in the States.
Philip,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
what you're saying, we need to move to Japan. That's the first thing we need to do. Move to Japan. Because
No, we just
clearly,
need to get a machine and put it in our sink.
no. We are packing our bags today and we are moving to Japan. Because the Western culture is not for us. We're going to move to Japan. And we can still buy the equipment attached to the kitchen sink. We can still do that. I have no problem, but I want the whole thing. The culture, the environment, the equipment. That's me.
Do you know why I moved to Ecuador? I
Tell
was
me.
getting very sick of watching these commercials with little kids with leukemia. Their hair is falling out, their eyes are sunken in because they're being poisoned with chemo and radiation when they know how to get rid of this naturally. I had a lady had leukemia for 7 years. She started drinking the molecular hydrogen. In 6 weeks, she went in for her regular blood test. The doctor called her the next day, said, "You need to come back in." She said, "Why?" "Something happened with your blood test." She said, "What do you mean?" "Well, it doesn't show you have leukemia." She tried telling what she's doing. "Oh, no, that won't work." She said, "I'll come in, but I ain't going to pay for it." He said, "I'll pay for it. Get in here." Did another test. She didn't have leukemia anymore.
Philip,
Yes, ma'am.
Philip,
I'm here.
I'm going to be human. Here's a
Okay.
human question.
Okay.
What are you really trying to do? Put the medical, pharmaceutical people out of business? Is that your look?
No, my objective is for people to learn the truth, because on my website, which is the diseaseeliminationspecialist.com, I have all the clinical studies there that they can go to. They can push a button. It goes right to PubMed, so they can read the clinical studies for themselves, how free radicals cause every disease known to mankind.
Philip,
Yes.
you know, people like
Okay.
you, as they say, we have to protect. Diane, let me acknowledge Diane. Diane
Okay.
is my friend from the future. I'm going to just leave it at that. She's a whole
Okay.
24 hours ahead of me, right? Thank you so much, Diane, for being here. She's saying fascinating. Philip, we have to protect you. You are seriously putting people out of business because you are encouraging good health. You're encouraging good lifestyle. You're encouraging reversing disease. You're encouraging people not having to go to the doctor. You're encouraging the pharmaceutical industry to go kapunk. You know, that is really what it is, which is good. I will totally support you in that.
Okay.
One question that I know people will have, because as
Okay.
you mentioned, it is the device is made in Japan and you can attach it to your
Kitchen
tap.
sink. Yes.
What would be the cost for something like that? And is it something that you have to keep replacing, or is it a one-time thing?
Okay. The machines that are medical devices in Japan, they start at 4,000 to 5,000 depending upon the machine you choose. There's
That's
a
US.
filter. There's one filter that you need to replace about every 3,000 gallons, which is about $100. Okay. But the machine, I've had my machine for 15 years. It still works. It still works. Okay. There's a lot of knockoffs in the States, but they only work 3 to 6 months because of the way they're made. Okay. So that's why they need to make sure they get the same one that I'm talking about. And if they email me or contact me, I would be happy to speak with any of your clients one-on-one to help show this to them. Now, if you can click on clinical studies for a minute on the website.
Yeah.
And click on root causes. Click on that. Okay. The first clinical study, it says oxidative stress, inflammation, and cancer. How are they linked? Okay. Click in yellow, and that'll bring us to PubMed. Now I'm going to read this to you because it's going to blow you away. Scroll down just a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. It says right there, extensive research during the last 2 decades has revealed a mechanism by which continued oxidative stress or free radical damage can lead to chronic inflammation, which in turn could mediate or cause most chronic diseases, including cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurological diseases, pulmonary disease. This is from the National Institute of Health. This is based on over 100 clinical studies that they've gathered together. So they know what the root cause is. But unless you know how to look for this, scroll back up for a minute because I want to show you something. Very top, to the very top. I'm sorry. No,
Oh, you mean go this way or this way?
No, that way. Go to the very top. The other way.
The other way, sorry.
Okay. See that? National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. They're the ones that publish this. So they know that free radicals, which is what I talked about, causes every disease known to man. So the only way to overcome free radicals is with antioxidants. But you have to have one strong enough to do it. And the molecular hydrogen is the only antioxidant that will do that.
Wow. Listen, you know, the thing about it, Philip, is that it's not that people don't know. I think it's a fear, FEAR. It's a lack of taking action fast enough. They get comfortable within themselves. But it all, to me, is based on fear. They're afraid of finding out what really is probably happening to them because they think back on their history and their family and think, oh my God, I don't want that. But yet the longer they take is the worse it becomes, as opposed to just trying to find out and dealing with it early.
Right.
It's also not willing to change.
Right.
You know, like I said to somebody, I was having a conversation the other day and I'm like, he smokes, right? So I'm like, what's so difficult to stop smoking? I can't understand. So he's like, you know, the nicotine is addictive. I'm like, that's no excuse. I said, if the nicotine is damaging you, because I could imagine what your lungs look like. It's like mashed up liver. You know, I can't imagine how you could see that visual and know that's what inside of you is looking like. And you're telling me the nicotine. That's not a strong enough reason for me to continue smoking. It cannot be that you give power to the
well,
thing.
Actually, what it is, the nicotine a little bit, but the big thing is it's the sugar that they coat the tobacco leaves with.
They put sugar.
Tobacco industry is the second largest purchaser of sugar next to cereal.
What?
Nicotine. That's why it's so addicting. I'm just telling you the truth. Now, do me one favor real quick, because I know we're limited on time. Go back, hit the back arrow so we go back to my website. And go back one more time.
Oh, one more?
Yeah, go to clinical studies again. And go down to molecular hydrogen and click on that. Here are 50 studies that talk about, now stop right there. First one, let's go back to the first one. Molecular hydrogen as a novel anti-tumor agent. Hydrogen inhibits lung cancer. Now, number 3, molecular hydrogen suppresses glioblastoma, which is brain cancer. There's nothing out there that touches brain cancer except molecular hydrogen. I have 50 studies that talk about neurodegenerative diseases. Also, stop right there. Stop.
I was trying to scroll to the 50 to show people it's 50.
Okay, yeah, there's over 50 of them there, and they're going right to the government's website, PubMed. They may end up shutting me down, so you may want to look at it before they do.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
I know. And I'm not even done with my website yet, but I wanted to at least get the information out there.
Well, it's been good knowing you, Philip. So let me say that right now. I'm happy to have you on my show.
Okay. I appreciate being on here.
Yeah, it's been good knowing you before they put you out and lock up your website.
Now, if anybody has any questions about any health issues, whether it's Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, all those. Now, Parkinson and Lou Gehrig's you have to catch early or you can't reverse them. Just about everything else is reversible. Okay. I've had people with just about every health issue you can think of that followed the protocol, because there is a protocol you have to follow. But once they reverse their health issues, then they can go back to their regular diet as long as they drink this, but still have to stay away from the soda, Gatorade, all that stuff.
How can they reach you, Philip? I think there was a contact us button on the website as well. So they could.
Yeah, there is. There's an email there, and I'd be happy to, and my phone number also. So I'd be happy to
Wonderful.
talk with anybody and help answer any questions they have. And I could give them the clinical study so they can understand it better themselves.
Awesome. Philip, we have raised some dead here. We raised Lazarus and we open a can of worms. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And this is what I'm saying. It's been good having you on my show
Okay.
before they shut you down. Yeah, and shut you up. It's been good. Thank you for the work that you have done so far. And I
You're
wish you
welcome.
all the best.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Keep doing what you're doing as much as you could do it for as long as you could do it,
Well,
whatever it takes.
I enjoy helping people. So
Yeah,
that's what it's
yeah.
all about.
Yeah, that's important. Do the best that you can do and do what is right. That's what I
Yeah.
say. The sun is coming up on me. Can you see it? Yeah, I look like a ghost now. So yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, Philip, for sharing that. We have had some persons interacted with us, Diane, as well as Cornel. Thank you so much. And as I said, for persons who may be watching the replay or will watch a replay, feel free to still comment and ask your questions. Philip will be able
Yes.
to reach you and answer you. I will be able to do it as well. So please, we thank you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for connecting with us and supporting us on this episode. Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.